working? Yes, ma'am. Dude's caught up in chords. That's how I get when I play guitar.
Give me another check.
Check, check, check. Check out my melody.
I think we're good.
Looks good. Not clipping at all.
All right.
And that includes me. I'm not clipping at all either.
Ready?
Yeah.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back. It's the Twin Towers Podcast. I'm Cody, too hot to be gay Butler. I'm here with Mikey Blaze.
Well, hey. The name's Mike. Does that make sense?
Michael Stanley's back in the crib. It's week 2 of the Garden Street affiliate, and we're back for week 9 of the podcast. What a week it was, man. We fucking blew up. Mike, talk about it.
Well, so far we're almost at 800 views. I know we had the extra day. We didn't record yesterday. There was some,
it is Wednesday, by the way.
Scheduling problems, but that doesn't really matter because we're almost at 800 views. Unreal. How about that? That's
I don't know what to
insane.
say about that.
Was it what was it? The prank? Was it the great new set? I think it had a lot to do with the new set.
I don't know what it was.
It was a lot.
It was unexpected, man, and we thank you guys, the planes out there who's been continually supporting the show. You guys are the best, man. We're just overwhelmed and overjoyed. I think I can speak for him when I say that. But so, some housekeeping stuff real quick. Obviously, the views were off the fucking chain. I don't expect to be able to do that every week, but let's go for it anyway. Comments were crazy. Me and Mike will account for about 50% of them, but still, you guys left comments. Let's get the likes up a little bit if you guys don't mind.
11 likes isn't enough for
not for that many
about
views.
800 views,
right?
Yeah.
So if you can just click
like
that thumbs up button, it just takes one quick second. It would mean a lot to the both of us.
You know what? Smash that thumbs up.
That would
button.
be even better. So, Pink Calculus, I have a bone to pick with you because we graciously offered you one of our Twin Towers pod patches, and you denied it. And I think the reason you denied it was because
we know who you are.
You don't want us to find out who you are because we do, in fact, know you. And that's why you didn't want to give out your address and why you didn't want to give up your social media profile. So you know what? I'm going to respect that and let that happen. I'm going to let you remain anonymous.
Bingo.
So we made the decision as a team, as a unit. We have 2 entrants, unfortunately.
Well, we had a third entrant that couldn't figure out what to do.
And I tried coaching him along, but he couldn't figure it out, so he is not in. So, the official entrants were K1 and Outer Space Terret. We have 2 patches. You guys are each getting a patch. So
you both win. Yay!
Congratulations.
Winners.
This is the first edition of patches. This is the first type of merch that we've ever had. So, I mean, this is going to be a collector's item someday. So, I hope you guys both do something special with it. We love both you guys. And give me your details, and I'll get those in the mail for you, all right?
Number out to me, all right?
Yeah, hook me up. Outside of that, I didn't have a whole lot of housekeeping to do other than to say that we are officially live on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and Spotify. The audio versions are up. The whole catalog is on there. This episode will be on there as well. In addition to that, we also have a new YouTube channel, Twin Towers Pod. That's going to be the home for all the audio versions and all of the short clips that Mike's going to eventually make. And in addition to that, we're also live on X at Twin Towers Pod, on Instagram at Twin Towers Pod, on Facebook at Twin Towers Pod. There was one more, wasn't there?
TikTok.
On TikTok.
But it's not made yet, so that's my bad.
All right, so that's coming
soon.
Soon,
yes.
So on all the social platforms, you can find us at Twin Towers Pod. Please follow us. We're going to try and get some content up there. The audio versions are good to go. You can subscribe on whatever platform it is that you use. We will have all the episodes up from the past, and then the feed will continue to feed in the newest episode as well. So things are moving along here.
Speaking of housekeeping, I wanted to bring this up. I thought about this last night when I was laying in bed. So when I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed to have animals at my house. And if I did, they were given away really quickly.
Not even like dogs or cats or anything?
I had a dog, but I caught my parents giving it away.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, in the driveway. And I asked them, just going to babysit it for a few weeks. Okay, never saw that dog again.
Damn, dude.
Anyways,
that's sad.
so I'd go to my friend's house down the street, and he'd have animals. But when I'd walk into his house, I'd notice the smell immediately. It's almost like if you don't smoke cigarettes and
smelled
someone
like dog?
comes around and they smoke, you can smell it on them.
All right, kind of like this apartment stinks like smoke right now because the last person smoked cigs in here, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of.
Like right when you walk in, you get hit with it.
Yeah, I'd go to my buddy's house, but I was so overjoyed by the dog being there that he had a dog. I didn't care about the smell at all. So I got thinking, I'm like, what is the deal? Why won't my parents let me have any animals? Or they didn't want to take care of them.
Oh, I see.
That's
Well,
it.
they already had to take care of kids. I mean,
I get it. And then you get your kid an animal, and the kid's not going to take care of an animal.
no, and plus there's that safety thing with pets and animals. Like if you get like a pit bull and you have a baby, like it might eat the baby. You never know.
Would you get a pit bull if you had a baby? Though?
No, I wouldn't. My dad probably would, but I wouldn't.
That's crazy. Did you have a pit? Did your dad have a pit
We
bull
had
when you
dogs
were a kid?
all growing up. We had boxer dogs, and we used to breed the female dog Libby. And when she had litters of puppies, we would name them all after boxers. So this one litter was like Oscar, Tito, Fernando, Layla, like all we would name it after boxers, and then sell them to people. That was really cool. Those dogs were fucking crazy though. Like anytime someone would come in the door to my house, they would sneak out of the house and like run blocks away. Like one time I was on lunch, I was at recess at Washington Hunt in like 4th grade, and all of a sudden my dogs run up on the playground, and then I see my mom and dad like running after them. So that was always a big thing, was like if you came to my house back then, don't let the fucking dogs out.
Yeah,
and they would always take
that's a
advantage
tough
of
ask
new patrons,
for a-
like new
for a
patrons
kid.
who just came in, who were just holding the door as a normal person would. The dogs would sneak
Yeah,
out.
I've let your dogs out.
Yeah, it was just part of the game. Like it's just what happened.
Who
but-
let the dogs out?
Baja Men style.
How
So
about that? No, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but Baja Men, that song was written about ugly women.
was it really?
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought it was actually
Like,
about dogs.
They were at the club or something, a bunch of ugly women walking.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, I thought it was about dogs my whole life.
Yeah, I give that a lot more credit. I'm pretty sure they used it in like Snow Dogs and like shit
Yeah,
like
any
that.
Disney type
Yeah.
movie.
That's really funny, actually.
Can I one more topic I want to touch real
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
Olympic basketball. Shout out to the men
And the women's.
women. But the men had to come back from like a 15-point deficit in the fourth quarter, which is kind of insane because you think it's LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
me.
And it's kind of weird. It's
It's
like,
opied.
you what?
Opied. Burped into the
Opie.
mic.
Oh, don't be doing that.
We're going to talk about that too tonight.
Opie?
We're going to talk about flatulence.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk
Well, we're
about that.
going
But shout
to.
out to the men's Olympic team. That's it. More so than, I guess, women too.
They both had to face France too, which makes me think it's fixed.
Yeah, because
Like
they were
it's in
hosting
Paris.
The
Yeah,
Olympics.
it's like how would both French teams make? I don't know. I
Are
guess
they
it's
really
just how
good at
we're-
basketball? They have.
Apparently, I don't know. I think the Olympics are fixed.
I thought like maybe me, you, Iman, and a few other guys could go to France and maybe play their national team.
I think we could too, which is crazy that the U.S. almost got beat because it's like, damn, dude, these guys, they're not like y'all. They're not built like y'all.
They not like us.
Mm-hmm.
They not like by Kendrick Lamar. Lamer. Mustard on the beat, ho.
Right.
Anyhow.
So, Outer Space Terror's getting a patch. K1's getting a patch. Audio versions are up. We're gonna get some new type of shit popping soon, merch wise, and maybe we'll do another giveaway at
Shout
some
out
point.
to Matt.
Tyler Gately gave me the idea, and which I've been meaning to do for a while. I just been being lazy. Is on the YouTube and on all the audio version information part is putting timestamps for when we change topics.
That's a good idea.
I'll be doing that this week. It's just more work on my plate. So yeah, I uploaded all the audio versions. I went ahead and made those 2 profiles, set everything up, went and picked you up. What did you do this week for the podcast?
A lot. So I started an X account for us. That's about it. I'm very busy. Very busy guy.
Yeah, really busy. Speaking of busy, we were keeping busy this week because we met up and played a little 2K5. And I told you how that was going to go. So we talked about ESPN 2K5 before, about how it's the greatest football game of all time. I went ahead and hooked it up, had Mike come over. He came over and thought he was going to whoop my ass with the Bills.
No.
And I told him days before that Charlie Garner and Mike Allstott are going to run all over you, and he didn't believe me. And guess what happened? That's what happened.
Yeah, that's
Peep the screenshot.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
We'll rematch
This
anytime.
guy's trying to run the score up at the end.
I wasn't trying to run. No, I
he's
wasn't.
not kneeling down.
It's too hard to run the score
You
up
know,
in that
it's
game.
10-0. All of a sudden, it's 24-0. He doesn't want it. People like that at video games. I could have quit and been like,
That would have sucked, though. I hate when people quit.
You've played. I'm sure
I would
viewers
never
have
quit.
played those guys that quit.
I would never quit. That's the most insulting disrespect. That's like their way of getting back at you for beating you. It's
Yeah,
like, all right, you know what? I'm not
just
even going to
into
play.
it.
Yeah,
I'm not
fuck it.
into it today.
I don't give a fuck anyway. I
Yeah.
hated when people quit.
That happened. I was telling you this story of my stepdad when I was like a kid. I played him in Madden, and he was kicking my ass, and he never played it before.
That's crazy. You should have been able to beat him.
Well, I should have, but I set it all on easy mode and made all my teams, so we were all 99 overall. So
Were you
whenever
using
I
Madden
played-
cards?
Yes. So eventually, he beat me so bad, I gave him a little case of the fumbleitis,
Nice. Yep.
and he got mad.
Of course.
So he quit, and then we had a problem for like a day or two. It was all right, but
It worked
I
out.
just didn't want to get beat.
No, nobody likes getting beat.
No, not crushed, especially
No.
at your own game.
Not shut out with 4 passing yards.
You had 53 passing yards.
Yeah, but I had
in
that
this game.
nice seam route to Jurevicius, though. I
Okay.
hit you with that
Yeah, he
for the
should've-
TD.
First of all, he should have dropped it.
No, it was right in the bread
Because
basket.
everything I threw, well, I completed 4 passes for
Something like
9
that.
yards or. Yeah.
We're going to play again soon. We'll let you know how it goes. I know Mike's going to want his revenge for sure.
I don't even want to play that game.
You do.
again.
You do. We
I-
could play Madden 05 instead.
I was Googling how to throw better in that game.
Well, if you find out, let me know, because I couldn't do it either. But
well, it basically said put a little more touch on your passes.
okay.
Don't bullet pass.
I don't know if that works with JP Lossman.
It was Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, it was? Okay, sorry.
Mr. Wine. Drew Bledsoe. He makes a lot of wine now.
Yeah, so do we. So
I don't make shit.
another update. We had an epic prank last week from Mike, the prank master, called an Applebee's in Vermont. Was it Vermont?
Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah,
yes.
and he talked to a Sheena. My name's Sheena. Does that make sense? Come to find out, and I'll link this in the
I
comments.
don't know if this is true though.
When did this happen? Recently? Was the story
no,
recent?
This was during COVID. The story.
Okay, that kind of puts a damper on it. I wish you would have said
But
it happened
it
this
could
week.
still be. I mean, the date was on the article. I said.
We found a Sheena, which is a very uncommon name in my world, getting arrested for 40 bags of heroin. This was a Vermont news story. Her name was Sheena, arrested for 40 bags of heroin, mugshot, all that. I'll put it in the comments. And we're wondering if maybe that's the woman we spoke to at Applebee's, and that's why she had such a fucking attitude.
I'm thinking it is.
I think it
I'm
definitely
thinking
is.
she got a second chance at life.
It's like you said, how many Sheenas are there really?
I don't know. I've never met a Sheena in my life. I didn't even think that was a name.
Not till last week. Not till last week.
Sheena. What's like a male name? Shauna? No, that's a girl's name too. Sheena. Whatever. Sheena.
I don't know of a male equivalent to that, really, but
It's got to be Shuna.
all right.
Shuna.
So
Shun.
I want to talk about something controversial here. And, you know, we do that from time to time, try and bring people into the tent and cause chaos and stir the pot a little bit. So I want to talk about the F word.
Oh, fuck. Not that one, though.
And I'm not talking about faggot, because I would say that in the right context. I wouldn't call someone that, but
Did you see the Boston Red Sox player got
Yeah,
suspended?
I did see that, actually. It happens. What are you going to do?
He was like, hey, fuck you, faggot. That's me mocking him. That's not me
Could have
saying
happened to
it.
any of us, honestly.
Right.
The F word I'm talking about is one that I won't say out loud because it makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it.
It rhymes with
Dart.
Dart? No. Yeah, it does. Actually.
It definitely does.
Okay, you're right. I got that one wrong.
So I've always been disgusted by that activity. I've always found it really unsettling when people like publicly like make an exposition of their bowel movements.
Yeah, you're smelling their shit.
It's like when that happens, it like makes me want to puke. Like I hated when kids did it in school.
And then laughed it off.
Right.
And they always had a backing. Like,
Right. Oh yeah, the people who loved it. And it's
No.
like people like when you're chilling in a room with them, like one-on-one, or maybe there's 3 people, and then someone's like effing nonstop and like thinking it's hilarious. Like I'm like pretending to laugh, but inside I'm just like, this guy's fucking gross. I never hanging out
It
with.
used to happen to me at my work.
I'm never hanging out with this guy again. And it's just like people might think that we're uptight about that because it's like whatever, everybody does. We know everybody does it. It's part of the body. It's whatever, but it just makes me sick to make an expo out of it and to make it this big public offering. It's just like go into the other room or something, or go outside, or just like try to keep it on lockdown.
They think it's like a joke. They think it's a joke.
And they think
right?
everyone's into it, and I'm not into it.
If you're doing stand-up comedy, do you walk on stage and just shit your pants?
It's not funny.
No, no one would laugh. I get concerned when someone does that.
It's really fucking disgusting, and I hate it. So don't do that around me.
It's like I say, here's how you get them out of it. You go, hey, get to the bathroom. Do you need to use the bathroom?
All right. Do you need to wipe?
Yeah, or it sounds like you have to go.
Right. Go now.
And that's embarrassing for them. So I've used
Right.
that
That
a couple
flips
times.
it on them kind of. And I'm not an uptight person about anything, really. Like, I'm pretty loosey-goosey. Like, I'm kind of down for whatever. But that's just one spot where I just draw the line. Like, that's never been funny to me. I've never been that guy. I remember when we lived in Florida, my girlfriend at the time and my bandmate, they, like, came up to my room and confronted me. And were like, yeah, so we've noticed, like, we've lived you for, like, eight months now. You've never effed.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you won't catch me doing that unless
Nope.
it's a fucking emergency.
Never catch
unless
me
it unless it absolutely had no choice but to happen. That's the only fucking way that would ever happen. Like, you're not gonna see me like doing F jokes and like effing around and doing all that. It's just not gonna happen.
You know who does? Yeah. So I hate that type of humor.
Which I love. I love that you hate it too because we're on the same wavelength with that. So when you come over and we're hanging out, we're not like dropping Fs.
That would be disgusting.
It would be horrible.
And you know, if you came to my house and you were dropping Fs everywhere,
Oh my god.
I'd have to have a conversation.
I would hate being
Someone
that
would bring
guy.
it
Like,
up,
oh yeah, when he comes over, he Fs all
Can
over
you
the place.
Just tell him not to F.
Yeah, oh god, it's so fucking sick, and I really am so uptight about it that I can't say the word.
It's just
the
throwing
word
your
makes me
scent.
sick.
Throwing your scent at
The
somebody.
inside of your intestines.
Oh.
You're turning them inside out and letting it loose into the
And
air.
fecal matter.
Yes.
Like comes chrome. I don't
Josh
know what they are.
Brancato said that he held his hand up in advanced math class in 7th grade. And Mrs. King Walter called on him and he goes, "Did you know that when people F, it actually releases fecal matter particles into the air?" And everyone started laughing. I actually thought that was pretty funny.
Well, that is funny, but it's still gross when you think about it. When you sit alone at the end of the day and you're, ooh, did I breathe in his ass?
It's really disgusting.
It's
guys.
really gross.
So the Twin Towers pod is anti-F. We won't even say the fucking word.
You're banned if you say it in the comments.
You can do whatever you got to do.
No. Come on, give me this.
In the privacy of your own home, you can do whatever it is you got to do, but you know what? Try and be polite about it. Like, think of it like you would. Okay, like when we went to the bar and I called that lady a D, that was seen as inappropriate. But
if she would have
among 85% of people, if I was at the bar effing and laughing about it, everyone would be like, "Oh, slapstick comedy.
just
That's
giving
hilarious."
them-
Right.
you're
to me,
bombing them.
that's way worse. Way worse.
yeah, you're bombing them.
It's fucking
You
disgusting.
don't see me go into like a hairdresser salon and start effing everywhere.
I
Ever.
had this incident one time.
But that would be funny.
I'm going to tell the story real quick. It was someone I was dating, and I guess when I'm dating people, it's kind of weird because obviously this is something that I have a sensitive spot about. Plus, like with girls, it's even 10 times worse. I hate to say that, but it just is. I don't know why, but it just is. Like, we like to think that doesn't, you guys don't do that stuff. We don't want to think about it.
Girls doing
Right.
it.
So basically, this person decided that she was going to break the ice and like do the big F, that like the first one, right? So like she calls my name. She's like, "Hey, Cody." I turn around and then there's like this like trumpet sound.
Oh no!
And
No, she
I think-
started getting down with the orchestra.
Right. So I think she thought I was going to be like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy. That's hilarious." But I was like, "Ew.
Oh, she thought you were gonna pull out a violin.
Why would you do that?" Started crying immediately. Tears were flowing.
She cried after she effed you?
Instantly. She tried to F-bomb me.
That's the different type of effing somebody.
Right. She tried to F-bomb me and thought it was going to turn into this big hilarious thing, but my reaction was so disgusted that it turned into tears and it turned into a big fight. So yeah, don't try that on me. I don't want to deal with it.
I have a story like that too. A girl I was dating. And I went into the store
I've heard this one.
and I came out and I got back in my car and the car was reeking, man.
And you know she thought that she had enough time.
She thought she had enough time.
Was it during the
windows
winter
were
time?
down. No, it was summer.
Okay, so either way, if it was during the wintertime, that means the heat was on, which would have proliferated it and made it last longer. But since it was summer, that means it was hot out and the heat would have proliferated it and made it last longer. So she probably thought she was fair game.
I was about to pop the hood just to give her some, time to get over it.
That one I'm going to give a little bit of slack because I'm sure in her heart and mind she was hoping that it would be gone by the time you got
Yeah,
back. You
for
probably
sure.
got back
I was
faster.
quick, though.
Right, and she wasn't
I don't
expecting
like stores at all. If I go into Walmart, I start shaking.
that. Right.
It's almost like alcohol withdrawal. If I go into Walmart, immediately I shake. Like, I'm dying in here. I'm going to pass out in front of all these people.
That's crazy. Walmart sucks, though.
It does suck, but the Walton family's great, and they sponsor this show.
Shout out
Thank
to
you,
them.
Walton
I
family.
wish they would do that. That'd be fucking great. So, long story short, we can wrap that up quickly. Just Me and Mike
Quickly,
aren't
we've been on
down
it
with
for like
that.
10, 15
we're-
minutes.
We're not down with that, and not to be an uptight prick, but that's just one place I won't go.
It's not acceptable for girls or guys.
Emergencies only. Please visit the restroom. Go outside. Again, things happen. I get it. I'm not going to be a
I
dick
knew this
about
guy I
it.
worked with. He could eat a piece of rice and he'd F for the rest of the day.
It's crazy. And then
piece
he's
of
known
rice.
as like the
One
F guy.
single rice.
He's the F guy now. Like that's what he does.
That's
he's
what he
like
did.
known for Fs.
Yeah, and it was really gross. I always thought, like, what if I told your wife how much you F at work?
I'm sure she knows all about it. She's got to live with it.
I don't know, though. Maybe it's like a hidden thing he does. He saves it for the guys.
I doubt it.
Whatever.
So the other day, we're at work at a place we work, and I was playing some Creed, which is like a very popular, non-intrusive, vanilla, just bar music, right? Like it's non-offensive, it's Christian,
there's
it's
some
rock.
offenses.
There's nothing in it at all that would drive people nuts in any way. Everybody was rocking out. The whole place was fucking vibing, dude. The Creed.
No, there's like 8 people in there.
All of a sudden, it changes to Nickelback. Photograph.
Let's go.
Which is fine. Again, and that was my big complaint. It was
Rockstar,
like,
not
oh
Photograph.
yeah, it was Rockstar. I was like, why didn't you pick like Always Remind Me or one of the big hits that everybody likes?
'Cause
This
I'm
guy
through
was making a
listening.
statement and wanted to show that like, I don't know what's your problem with Creed? Why did you do it that time?
It was so depressing. It was just bringing the mood down. That's what I thought.
See, this is what I don't get, and I'm not going to be able to wrap my head around
Rockstar
it. How
brings
is
it up.
Nickelback less depressing than Creed? They're like the same genre, post-grunge music. Like,
Oh, wow.
if you switched it to like, I don't fucking know, like something really happy, like the Bee Gees, then I could be like, all right, that makes sense. Total
Yeah, but-
vibe change, but he didn't change the vibe at
No.
all. He kept it on the same
no,
vibe.
Creed seems like there's oil poured on them, so it makes them go down even more depressing.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like they get weighed down a little bit into the depressy stuff.
It didn't make any sense.
It makes sense to me.
And even if that was true, after that first song finished, it went into generic post grunge that could have been Creed or
you think
Nickelback.
Rockstar is depressing?
That's my point. After that first song played and it went into the Nickelback songs,
How you
could have been
remind me?
Creed
That's more
or
positive
Nickelback.
than anything that Creed.
It's literally could be a Creed song, probably.
No, Creed sounds like they were recorded in a basement in
No, it doesn't.
New Mexico.
Those are great recordings. That's not even true. Now you're just saying bullshit at this
I'm not
point.
saying bullshit.
You are.
I don't
That's
like
not-
the way the recordings sound. It's too pushed down to the depressed side.
It's not.
It is.
It's really not. Especially compared, like if you were saying it compared to Oasis or compared to Radiohead or compared to Paramore or compared to anything else that's a different mood, it would make sense. But Nickelback was a wannabe Creed,
no.
so it doesn't make any sense.
That's not true. Nickelback was probably around before Creed.
They weren't.
Look that up,
They weren't.
Jamie.
They definitely weren't. But yeah,
They
that
might
really
have been.
pissed me off. And me and Mike were about to fight during work.
Jesus Christ, over at Nickelback.
Even the customers commented on it, though. They were like, why? I was like, I don't know.
yeah,
I
right.
don't know. You got to ask him. I don't know why.
Well, sometimes they need to be enlightened.
I couldn't make sense of it. It didn't make sense to me. But
that oiled down.
like when you did
music.
it earlier in the day, like when the Black Album was on, you were like, I'm changing to something happier. And you put on current pop. That made sense because it was like, okay, they want a happy vibe in here, like Metallica Black. It's not depressing, but it's like, it's not. 2000s pop was very airy, like a lot of female vocals, like electronic. It was like, okay, that was a huge mood swing. But when you changed it from Creed to Nickelback, it was like, what was the point?
It's better.
Okay.
It's better. That's all I got, man.
What's better, the Beatles or Metallica?
Don't
The White Album or the Black Album?
don't play stupid. The White Album's a double album. That's a great album.
Right. They had to make that many more songs to even try and compete.
Well, actually, it was a great idea because their contract was going to end and they needed to do a certain number of albums. So what they did was they did a double album and it accounted for 2 of them.
So they were scam artists?
They were scamming.
They didn't
Fuck
like
yeah.
their record company?
They didn't like each other.
Even though they made mad fucking money, they could only hold the band together for like 5 years. Didn't play live.
5 years. That was 10 years.
Whatever. That's nothing compared to Metallica, who's been around for 40 plus years,
They
rocking
probably
shows,
should have rocked it
rocking
out after 10
stadiums,
too.
rocking stadiums for 40 plus years. No breaks, album after album after album.
And it's crazy because one Beatle still rocks stadiums. Just one of them. Still touring. Still by himself, not even with the other Beatles.
Right, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about
you're
the
saying
band.
that the band's still, but one Beatle.
The
could
band
do that.
was just
Actually,
full of
two
drama.
Beatles can do that.
The
Ringo
band
can do it too.
The band was nonstop drama, and yes, Metallica had drama, but they made a film about it. They turned it into a whole thing that the fans could enjoy. Like it was just
That was a really hard watch, though.
a great movie, though. Some
It is-
Kind of Monsters
It is great
amazing.
because it's so
The
awkward.
Beatles would never have the balls to do that.
The Beatles did like 3 movies.
Like Some Kind of Monster.
Yes, they did. The
Or are you
one that
talking about
was
like Yellow Submarine,
the 9
like
hour
animated, like
the 9-hour
kiddie-
thing that came out on Disney Plus about the recording of Let It Be?
That wasn't by
It's
them.
a movie. Yes.
No, that was later by people who
Peter
went into the
Jackson.
past.
No, it was recorded at that time. It was remastered
Right, but
by
they
Peter
didn't
Jackson.
decide to
Yes,
record.
they did.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, they did.
I
That was
doubt
literally
it.
Paul McCartney's idea.
I doubt it.
I swear to yes, it was. And Peter Jackson went in and repurposed it, and they released all 9 hours. But
Can you say that
originally-
any Beatles song rocks as hard as Battery?
Dude, I love Battery. That's to me, yes. There's many.
What Beatles song rocks as hard as Battery? Live from
If you're
Seattle.
talking about like metal,
I'm talking about like feel like you're on cocaine when you hear
Oh,
it.
there's not a Beatles song that makes me feel like I'm on cocaine when I hear it.
Okay.
Well, no, it's I mean,
Debate over. No, it's funny that like they shouldn't even be compared. But my whole thing was always like the way that people, because to me Metallica, their influence and the impact they had on metal music going forward, all the metalcore shit that I ended up getting into, all that type of shit, it all stems from Metallica, much in the same way that a lot of the rock and pop rock and grunge and all the different subgenres that came out spawned from the Beatles, right? So there's like this divide, and it's like the Beatles are like the helm of all this bullshit, and then Metallica's the helm of all this bullshit. And I feel like they had equally proportionate influence on heavy music
I do agree with that.
that the Beatles had on whatever type of bullshit they influenced.
Everything.
Everything, yes. Right.
I don't see the bassist of Metallica going on world tours right now.
Well, which one? Because one of them's
Cliff
dead.
Burton.
Yeah, he's dead. He's been dead since '86.
Well, John Lennon. He's been on tour and he's been dead since 80.
I just want Metallica to start getting that same level of respect.
Metallica gets a lot of respect. They got honored by MTV Icon.
They did,
In,
which
like,
was cheap because like Trujillo just joined the band, and then he's like already an icon. Like
Yeah,
they were
that
like
was
showing.
so-
It's like,
imagine
dude, you
that.
just joined the band. That's honestly that's my favorite part of Some Kind of Monster is when Trujillo. They do this really cool
He's
thing.
the new bassist for
Right,
Metallica.
right. Who looks like Roman Reigns. They basically are doing for whom the bell tolls, and they cut to all the different bases. Like there's the guy from Kiss, there's the guy from The Cult, there's the guy from 9 Inch Nails, and like they're cutting to all of them playing it. And obviously the Roman Reigns guy is fucking nailing it. He's so much better than all of them.
He's crab walking around stage.
100%. So then they bring him into the room, and they're like, "We want to offer you a spot as our bassist, and we want to."
Give
Lars
you
is
$1
like,
million.
yes. Lars is like, we want to give you $1 million to show our good faith, and he's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he has no idea.
I can't even talk right now. Like, imagine that happening. Imagine you walk into Metallica's HQ and they offer you to be their new bassist, and they pay you $1 million to sign a contract with them.
I immediately
Dream
would.
come true.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
I'd probably give it up after 2 weeks since I saw that.
Yeah, and he
movie.
never left the band. Like, he's been in the band now longer than Newsted was in the band.
Yeah, now
he has
he's
more years than
a core member.
You're right. He has more years, I think, combined than Newsted and Cliff, maybe, or he's getting close to that. So he's almost been the longest tenured bassist. But Metallica's cheap too. Don't get me wrong; they have a lot of cheap shit they came out with. They have, they've had their stumbles along the way. But one thing we wanted to talk about though, so back in the day was the big Napster ordeal, where Lars was vilified and looked at as the biggest dickhead in rock and roll.
Lars, the drummer of Metallica.
Yes, Lars Ulrich, because he was against Napster and thought it was bullshit and thought that it was going to fuck up the music industry and the recording industry. And if you actually go back now, years later, 25 years later, and look at the impact that it had, now here we are in 2024, music is worth nothing. Nobody pays for anything. It's, bands won't even be able to get funded. Like the Black Album which I think is the best produced rock album of all time. I don't think any still to this day, even 33 years later, I have not heard an album in the rock genre
I think
with better production.
Better produced than that.
It's not. That's like what an artsy, fartsy faggot would say.
You went to school for it, so I trust your opinion.
No, it's different styles, though. That has the Albini rawness. Like, that Black Album's not raw. It doesn't have that. In Utero was going for a very organic, different type of sound, and they captured it really well, even though the mixes that ended up on In Utero were not the ones that they actually wanted, and you can find those on some of the box sets and things like that. But hard to compare those two albums, and it was a bold move by Nirvana to go that route for their follow-up, because their first album by Butch Vig was very clean and very well produced and very straightforward, whereas In Utero went for that raw, organic sound, which is very cool. But I just mean, on the whole, as far as just epic rock production, like the pinnacle of what it could be on analog tape, I look at the Black Album.
They got a lot of problems for that, right? Didn't a lot of the fans say they sold out?
Yes, for sure, because their previous album was Injustice for All, which was a straightforward thrash album with a lot of progressive stuff, a lot of different time signatures. The bass was barely mixed in, and then they go to songs like Nothing Else Matters and The Unforgiven. They have a lot of clean vocals. They have a lot of big choruses. They have this epic arena rock drum sound.
Oh.
So they got a lot of backlash from the hardcore Metallica fans, but to me, the Black Album stands alone as the greatest produced mainstream rock album that's ever been done.
Mainstream helps.
But my point was going to be, though, that since then, you can't even do an album like that anymore, because the budget for that album, the record company would never even allow that type of budget.
What was the budget?
I don't know what it was, but it was probably a lot, because they sold a fuckload of albums. Nowadays, you can't count on that, so you're not going to get that type of budget. Everything's going to be done digitally. Everything's going to be done in the box. They're probably not going to record on tape unless you're like Dave Grohl and you go out of your way to do that, which he's someone who can get away with it.
People do their own recordings now. It's just you need someone there, like a record label, to distribute it.
Right, but when you have someone like Bob Rock, who had a past history of making great albums, a band like Metallica, who was just hitting their stride, hitting their prime, and you're just coming into the digital age, so you're recording on tape, but you're using digital things to facilitate it. It was just the perfect storm, and if you can find a better sounding mainstream rock album, tell me about it in the comments, because to me nothing tops the drums on the Black Album are insane. The snare sounds like it's fucking 30 meters wide.
Wow.
It's so good. The vocals are just it's so fucking good.
Yo, you about to get cooked, bro.
I welcome all comers.
No one's gonna cook you on that.
I just think that they really captured lightning in a bottle with that.
I did like your Savers jersey last week.
Yeah, it was great. I was gonna rock the Hashik today, but it's a little too hot in here for that Nelly style.
I might have to take a pee break in a minute.
Go ahead.
Back to the normal pee breaks, but I want someone on camera while I do it. There he is.
So yeah,
BRB.
What else can I talk about while you're gone? So this one time, I brought this up to Mike the other day. My friend Caesar completely threw me under the bus with them, and that's how this whole Beatles bullshit started, right? So basically, Mike and whoever, I don't know if it was Eric or whoever else, they started making these recordings or something of like original music that they were working on, okay? So like, I'm in the car with Caesar and we're driving along and he pops in like a CD. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was. It's not like he said, hey, yo, here's Mike's new shit, whatever. He pops in this CD and it's just like an acoustic guitar playing and it sounds like kind of distant. And I never said it sounded bad. It didn't sound bad, but I like, the way I talk to Creech is how I would talk to Mike or how I would talk to any other of my friends. I was just like, oh yeah, this sounds like some 1960s shit, right? Just an offhand remark, didn't know what it was, and also wasn't expecting that sort of shit from Caesar, so it kind of caught me off guard, because Caesar's pretty regimented with what he listens to a lot of metalcore, listens to a lot of heavy shit, so when he popped in the CD, I was just taken aback, and I was like, oh man, sounds like some 1960s shit. Not so much about what the music was, more so about, I guess, how the recording sounded, which is probably what they were going for, so it was probably actually a compliment, right? Turns out, 2 weeks later, all of a sudden people are acting weird toward me. People are boxing me out. People are treating me like I'm a dick. So I know for a fact this comment got relayed through the grapevine.
Never happened.
I know this happened. I know for a
I never
fact.
heard a word about it.
There's no way this didn't happen because it's hard for me to describe now because it was like 15 years ago, but the way all the events lined up, there's just no way this didn't happen. So everybody thought I was like this dick that like hated on all the old shit and like thought you guys were gay and like you need whatever. It happened. Trust me. He's going to say it didn't happen.
I didn't hear about it. You guys like different music than us.
It happened.
That was it.
Well, that's why it caught me off guard because Creech suddenly pops this CD in and it sounds like
like
fucking.
you were getting set up.
It sounds like yes, dude. It sounded like fucking Beach
No,
Boys or something. So then I'm
right.
like, dude, this is nuts. This sounds like some 1960s shit. What do you listen to? He's like, oh, this is Mike's new shit.
Why?
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, let's listen to it then. All of a sudden, like. I'm just getting boxed out. I'm getting isolated. People are fucking with me on a subliminal. It turned into a whole thing. And that's how this whole Beatles line in the sand was drawn in the first place. And I know it was. And I'm leaning into it now in a big way because anyone who ever brings up the Beatles from now on, I'm just going to say, oh, yeah, they're cool, but Metallica's way better.
That's fine. I don't care. Yeah, everyone has their own music.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I wish y'all would have said that when I was in 11th grade.
I didn't
That's
even
not what
know.
y'all said then. Yeah, he's gay. He don't even know real music. He likes that double bass shit.
Double bass? Yeah. Oh, that's what. Yeah.
That's always the big dividing line. For some fucking reason, I don't know why.
Double
but when,
bass
when
always
you
comes
introduce double bass into something, it turns it into this new thing. Like when we were working on music with Eric over the COVID summer, you guys had a song called My Mind, right? And I had this really cool idea at the end where the bass drum slowly picks up its rhythm. And by the end, you could do it with one foot if you're really good like me, but it's kind of a double bass rhythm, and that was like totally vetoed, like it cannot be done.
Did I veto it?
I don't remember. You don't say anything. You're the most passive person ever. Like you would never say anything anyway.
No, I wouldn't even if I didn't like it
Right.
or did like it.
Exactly. So I have no idea if you liked it or not, but it just for some reason if you introduce any sort of double constant kick, it like crosses a line. Similar to screamed vocals, but not as crazy because that's more obvious. Like obviously you're not going to start screaming.
People would say, I don't
Me
like
too.
that
Yeah,
screaming
I didn't like
shit.
that shit for a long time, so I definitely get that. The way I always looked at that was like clean vocals are like a melody. They're like an instrument. Screen vocals are like a percussive instrument, so it's more about the rhythm of what they're saying as opposed to a melody. It's like a percussive instrument.
Check out my melody.
But not everyone sees it that way, and sometimes when you hear screen vocals, it just turns people off, so I get that 100%. My own music that I make, solo music, I don't even do dirty vox. I do all screen or sung vocals.
Dirty vox.
Yes, dirty and clean vox.
Yeah, I'm about to do some dirty vox later.
But there's something about double bass, though, that on a smaller level has the same effect. Like if you introduce double
I get
kick.
that. I've never heard that perspective before, but that's true. If I hear a song with double bass, I almost immediately, without even thinking, that's kind of cheap.
So I had this really cool idea at the end of this song to do this. And again, you could do it with one foot. It wasn't really
you
fast
can
enough.
do this shit fucked up.
It wasn't really fast enough to be double bass per se, but it was like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I knew why. Because I said that shit to Creech back in the day.
Oh, God, no. He never relayed that message to me. I think I'd remember that, and it would be a big part.
I have to ask him about it. That's the
Yeah.
only way to really find out.
Yeah, that's possible.
I don't know.
I don't know. It is possible it happened.
It happened. It definitely happened, but
Yeah, whatever. I think you ain't recording no more.
no, we're good.
I'm just kidding.
We're still rocking. I'm just excited about the podcast. And next week is a huge ep because it's going to be 10 eps, which I've never in the history of my podcasting journey, from Burning Bridges to the other iterations of Burning Bridges that Mike was on and Ethan was on, Tyler, my brother, etc., to the Twin Snakes, never made it to double digits in the episodes. And next week is that week. So we're going to be popping Corbel champagne sitting right here.
Live on air.
Next
Maybe
week is
doing
a party.
dance. We should do a dance. Let's figure out a dance.
We're going to get something crazy going for next week because it's going to be a party. We are hitting a milestone, and it's going to be huge. So I hope that Ep 9 gets the same love that Ep 8 got, I'm losing track. I went back and changed all the numbers because at first I went off the Twin Snakes lineage, and then that was confusing for people. So Ethan messaged me and was like, can't believe you guys have already done 13. Thought you guys would stop around 4 or 5 and it would be done.
No.
And I was like, well, we haven't done 13. But then I was like, all right, that's confusing for people because like the audio version, it says 8, but then the video version says 13. So I just went and changed them all.
This
and
is an
fucking fixed
issue
it.
with people. People don't have consistency anymore.
Right.
They don't show up. They don't do the work. And something like this, we're not getting paid for this. Cody's doing a shit ton of work.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm doing, what I can.
Mike's contributing where he can, and
But people don't understand. This is hard to do.
It is hard to do, and it's hard to do it on a weekly basis. And another thing that people don't realize or take for granted is actually the amount of back-end bullshit that goes into it. And I will say on Mike's behalf, like, yes, probably I might be carrying some of that load, but at the same time, I like doing it, and I feel better doing it because I would rather be in control of it, and I have experience doing it.
And you know how to do it.
Exactly. I have experience doing it. I've already done it, so I'm not going to say, hey, Mike, figure out how to get everything on Apple Podcasts. It's going to take him way longer to do. I've already done shit like that.
You did it in 4 hours.
Exactly. It wasn't hard.
Shout out to Matt Adams for that.
For the idea, yes. And we're going to keep coming up with different things that we can do. Like Tyler gave me the idea about the timestamps. So in the description this week, you should see on the YouTube description, you should see timestamps for everything we talked about. So you can zoom around. He actually said, his quote was, if I'm texting or whatever and I miss the Chop Shop story, I know exactly where to go to start over and catch that whole thing. Great idea. So that will be in the description this week. So again, I've said this to you guys every week. If you have any ideas, anything that when you watch this show, you're like, I wish they did this. Just let us know, man, because we're going to integrate that. We're doing everything we can. Like getting everything on the audio servers was a huge step forward. That was huge for us because we've been delaying that.
Did you get worried about that, though? Like maybe the views will be spread out a little more?
Kind of. But obviously, it did not work out that way.
No, it didn't. And thank you guys. If on the visual version right now, you can see my Rolex I bought from all the views.
Sick.
From Walmart, $10.98.
Huge.
$10.98. Thank you, Mom.
What I always wanted was just to keep the thing trending upward. And the amount that we got this week blows me away. Like, I can't even believe that many people clicked on it. I don't know if anybody watched it in full. I don't know if anybody liked it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But just the fact to see that number blew me the fuck away, especially because the week before we had a down week and we were trending up and we had our first backstep.
Yeah, but Mars was in retrograde.
This is fucked up. That's outer space tarot type shit. I don't know about that shit.
Give us some horoscopes and stuff.
So yeah. Just thank you to you guys. We're having so much fun, and we're not stopping anytime soon. And next week is going to be a party. We are celebrating the first double-digit episode, 10 eps in the can. It's going to be fucking huge.
That's 2.5 months worth of
the whole summer.
Hours worth of content.
And we got football coming up. We got all kinds of shit coming down the pike that we're going to want to speak on.
We got my boy John Allen.
John Allen will be getting busy.
Most improved from high school. He went from wearing them skinny jeans to just being a normal dude. Y'all remember him?
He had an emo-ass gut.
He did have an emo gut.
So yeah,
that was all because of the belt, though. Remember those kids? They wear a really tight belt.
He was
with
cheap.
Like
One time we got into an argument on Facebook. I brought this up recently too. I think I captioned one of my Snapchat pictures with it, and he said like, Cody, I don't know why the fuck you have this 10th grade ego and blah blah blah. And I just 10th grade ego. That's the name of my new band. 10th grade ego.
Why? What did you say?
I don't know. We just got into an argument about something. I was like, dude, you're acting cheap. Yeah, you're like a dickhead. He used to send me the worst music ever. He would be like
Blood Brothers.
He was like,
those guys?
I don't know who it was. He was like, dude, so you're into emo? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't really like My Chemical Romance. He was like, no, that's not real emo. I'm gonna send you some real emo.
I'm gonna get you real depressed.
And dude, it was like the most
I don't want to hear
like
that.
grindcore
I don't wanna be
emo.
sad.
Dude, it was. He sent me literally some of the worst music I've ever heard.
Stop making me sad.
Like, I would rather be in a padded room and have the Beatles on loop for 36 hours
They're not gonna make you
than
sad.
ever hear. No, they won't. And I would rather hear that any day than ever hear any of the bullshit that he sent me, hands down.
My Chemical Romance was okay. I didn't even mind them.
They had a couple good songs.
There's been a lot of music going on in this episode.
Well, let's talk about something else. So back in the day, around we'll say I was in 10th grade, you guys were seniors. We used to have some parties at Crest Wolf's house, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of started this thing, and it probably came from others as well, like their input and stuff. Where we used to do this thing Me and Sheezy have always had this phrase that we joke around about. It's not gay if you're. It's only gay if you're gay, right?
Only gay if you make it.
So you can do gay shit, but unless you're actually gay, it's not really gay. It's just funny, or it's just fucking around, or whatever. So at Crass's party, sometimes we would like kiss each other, do some shit like that, and it would be like, oh, see, I can kiss Mike, and then it's not gay because neither of us are gay. So it's just a kiss. It was like this metaphysical thing, like where we're like drawing a line in the sand, like we're breaking the barrier between physical action and actual meaning, and it was like to prove a point, this whole philosophical thing. So one night, I wasn't there for this, but we used to go party at this dude's house. It was Bill's cousin, Josh Marfart.
Mini mansion.
They were the sickest fucking parties ever. Like, his family owned this giant crib, so we used to go there and play Guitar Hero. We would play hide and seek. It was just this huge place. We would do all kinds of crazy shit. Everybody would come over, we'd get popped. It was just so much fun. I wasn't there for this particular night, but I did end up seeing the picture. One night, you guys took that whole philosophical gay shit to the next level.
Yeah, we did.
And who was it? It was you, Jano, and
I don't
Eric?
remember who else was involved. And it wasn't naked. It was everyone had shorts on. Yeah, I know that for a fact.
I saw the pic. I don't remember
Who
any
took a
shorts.
pic of that?
There's a pic. That's where you guys fucked up. You shouldn't have been letting nobody take pictures of that.
Well, whatever.
All these guys, and again, I can relate to this because I get what they were trying to do. They were just trying to prove, like, we can all get in the shower together and be in the same shower, and it's not a big deal.
In
like
hockey, that was normal.
100%. And I'm going to tell another story when we move past this. But the fact that like it would only be gay if we were doing this, if we were gay, and we're not gay, so we can just stand here and laugh about it and be in the hot shower, steamy ass.
But
glass.
in hindsight,
I don't remember. I don't remember any shorts. By the way, I saw the picture and I saw
dude, I had shorts down to my ankles on, bro.
I saw three naked boys laughing and smiling and giggling. It looked like Zoolander when they have the gasoline fight. Jitterbug was playing. But it was kind of a legendary thing because someone took a picture of it. And then, of course, when you do that kind of thing, people take it the wrong way. And they're like, oh, no, those guys are gay. Blah, 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 blah. They were proving a point.
Really fucking funny.
But someone snuck a pic, basically. And that's how I found out about it. Someone was like, yo, did y'all hear about what they did?
Plenty of people there. So
Right. I like what they were doing, not in a gay way, but I like the point they were trying to prove, and I would have.
Obama was running for president. There was hope.
I'm not saying I would have gotten in the shower with them because I might have drawn the line. That might be a little too far for me, but I understood the point they were making, and they must have been really twisted to think that that was a smart idea.
2 beers in.
Yeah,
that's how
they were probably drinking Aftershock, which is discontinued now.
Yes, it is.
But I had a similar experience at the YMCA in 7th grade. So basically,
oh, I know this one.
At the Y, there's this whole thing. All these old guys are just like showering, walking around naked. They're in the steam room. They're fucking got their nuts out, like putting their leg up on the bench. Like it's just like it's just a thing, right? And that's supposed to be part of the whole thing. So me and Ethan go there. We're like 12 years old or whatever. We work out in the dungeon, and then it's like, all right, what do we do next? Well, we have to shower. Like, we brought shower shit, so we got to shower. So it's like, I didn't really want to do it. He didn't really want to do it, but we were like, I guess we got to do it. So we went in the showers, took a shower, and I just remember I was washing my hair, and I turned my head to the left, and he turned towards me. And what I saw was like this alien thing. Like, it was just foreign. Like, it just, there's huge bush, and then this giant hammer-looking, sledgehammer-looking.
I thought we were talking paranormal.
And I didn't look at it, but I could see it. And it fucked me up for days. Like, I was like, what?
So it was an alien sledgehammer?
What the fuck was Ethan carrying around? Like,
okay.
Why was his bush that big, first of all? Why isn't mine? And then why...
He was one of those guys who got a little more
He has a lot of hair, yeah. And
yeah.
I was like, why did his cock look like that? That was fucking weird.
You know what the deal is.
I found out later. So this haunted me for years. I was like...
It was circle.
What's up with Ethan's cock? Like
circle size.
I was like, mine doesn't look like that. Is something wrong with mine? Like, what's going on? Found out years later, because Ethan used to do this thing where we'd be at like a party or like a function, and he would pop Ambiens and then strip and, whip his hog around. Found out later, Ethan's not circumcised. So that was my first unclipped hog that I ever seen. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know
And you
that
never
I was
watched
circumcised.
porn at that
right.
time,
I had
yeah.
no idea what that was.
Yeah.
So what I saw was this foreign anteater-like thing hanging low, and he's got a fucking hammer too, by the way. It is long. And I was just like, dude, something must be fucked up with my shit, because my shit does not look like
why
that.
don't I have the anteater head?
Right. But long story short, we never did that again. That was a one-time only thing. We both felt really awkward, and we never showered together again. And I don't think you guys did either.
No, not after that.
It's one of those things that you think is going to be all good, and then you do it, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, then you're like, shit, we shouldn't have done that.
That was fucked
How do you
up.
open this thing? I can't figure it out.
You just pop it. So, yeah.
All right, can I ask you, what is your favorite podcast of all time?
Red Bar.
Red Bar Radio?
Absolutely.
Same here. Okay, so that didn't... I was hoping you'd
You want me
say
to ask
something
my
else.
second
Yeah.
favorite? Well, Opie and Anthony wasn't a podcast. It was a radio show. So if I had to give my second favorite podcast, I would say probably the Jim Cornette Experience / The Drive-Thru.
The drive.
And then beyond that would be probably Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast. Back in the day, though, because that's what got me into podcasting in 2011.
Okay.
What about you? What's your favorite?
Well, yeah, the exact same answers.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Literally the exact same answers. And I love Jim Cornette. I listen to Jim Cornette all the time.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best wrestling personality that ever
I don't
lived.
know if I should do a prank today.
I got to pee real quick, so hold on. Hold it down.
Maybe I should. I don't know. If I do a prank, I want to make sure it's good. But anyhow, I've been listening to a lot of new music. I've been listening to Ivory Hours. They're a Canadian band. Sam Roberts, Canadian band. I don't like any band from America anymore. I think they're all pieces of shit. Just kidding. That's not true. I'm just trying to kill time here, folks. Wow, I'm really blanking. Could you imagine if I did stand-up comedy? This would be awful. I'd use recycled jokes like Carlos Mencia did. Oh, great. Shouting at me from the bathroom. I don't like that. Who knows what he's thinking about holding his hog. What is that? Okay, anyways. I'm going to try to get onto a new topic before he comes back with his topic, because it's not going to be that great. All right, I'm done whispering. He's back, so let's figure that out from here. I think I got a prank plan, so I'm going to find a store out of...
So, the other night, Monday night, I was watching some movies on Paramount Plus, and one of the movies that came up, I fell asleep and woke up while the movie was in the middle of it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yesterday was Cody Butler's day off because I had nothing to do and I slept for literally 20 hours. Mike said he was almost going to send a wellness check out to make sure I was good.
I was actually getting worried.
Because I never don't answer my phone if I'm awake, so I was just out cold for the longest. Google image search the Freddy Krueger? Ferris Bueller's Day Off cast,
Ferris
or
Bueller, Freddy Krueger.
watch the fucking movie. I was so reminded of myself and Mike from these two guys, Ferris and Cameron. You kind of look like him, especially in high school.
I'm way better looking than
Yes,
him.
you are, but especially in high school, you're tall, lanky, you got a similar type face. I bet he's of Polish descent. He's wearing a hockey jersey, and throughout the movie, he's all uptight, he's not down to do anything, he's afraid his family's going to get him in trouble. He wants to go home the whole time.
All right,
Ferris is down for whatever. He wants to go crazy. He's always embarrassing Cameron because he's pulling stunts and pranks in public at the restaurant and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It reminded me a lot of me and you, Ferris and Cameron. And
Now that you put it that way,
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. Now that you put it that way,
Yeah.
I get it.
And you do kind of look like him too. I don't really
You
look like
Ferris,
Matthew.
too. Yeah,
I don't
you got
really
the same
look
height as him too.
But the girlfriend in the movie, and they're in high school. Her name in the movie is Sloane, which is an
Sloane.
awful name. In real life, her name was the M word. So
yeah.
another weird coincidence.
All right.
But what were you talking about before I came back?
I was just trying to kill time. I got a prank idea, okay?
Okay.
Can we do a prank?
Yes.
All right. We're going to call it 84 Lumber in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. I got to hit call. Here we go.
84 Lumber, this is Braden.
Hey, Braden. Name's Rick.
Hi.
Hey, I'm heading up there. I'm building a porch for my family right now. Need to know if your wood has grain in it or not, because I'm allergic to grain. I've been going everywhere. I got sent over this way.
Yeah.
It's got barley in it?
Let me check for you. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep, I'll be right back.
No problem.
Watching the sun rise over our yard.
This
This is ridiculous. In a good way.
He's going to check if
If there's grain in the wood, what wood doesn't have grain? I've never heard of a wood without grain.
Delivering. Answering questions.
But I would do this same shit. Like I wanted to, if someone called Becker and was like, "I want to check if your wine had alcohol in it," I'd be like, "Wait, let me check with the manager because I don't want to get anything wrong." Exactly.
Yeah. This could be a while.
Or lumber.
He
Shouldn't take long.
he's going up to the manager right now, being
Or
like,
lumber.
This guy called and asked if there's grain in the wood.
"Yeah,
I don't think there is." Yeah, right. Like he's gonna get in trouble for this.
Do you think they can hear us when we're on hold?
No, definitely not.
As your business grows, we grow with you.
Oh, this is awful. I just ruined this guy's day by that simple question.
Problem.
Yeah, and you ruined our podcast. Brought it to a screeching halt.
No, it's not. It's not
I'm just
kidding.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
People live for these pranks.
They do. The pranks are getting steam. I thought he was coming back.
Well, let's put him down and talk about something
Watching
else.
the sun rise over our yard. 1956.
We don't want him to come back and have us not be.
Such a simple question. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, yeah. What do you mean by grain?
If it has grain in the wood, most wood has grain in it, and I think about it this way, like vegan, vegetarian type option. So I can't have grain in my wood. So if I'm building a porch, I need the ungrained wood, and I know you guys have it. I just want to make sure you guys have it at your specific location because I'm heading there now and trying to build a porch for my family.
Do we have grain wood or non-grain wood? I honestly wouldn't know that. I don't think we have non-grain wood.
Is there non-barleyed wood or wheat wood? Any of those? I just need something with like a vegetarian option for wood.
He said he needs a vegetarian. Let me go try to look again and figure this out. I'll be right back one more time.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Killing this fucking guy, man.
This is awful. Now I'm starting to feel bad.
Yeah, well, because this guy thinks you're serious.
I'm
and
looking
he's-
for vegetarian wood.
This is the problem at work. People are way too uptight at work, and they're so uptight at work that they're not in reality.
I want to Venmo him some money.
If this guy was in reality right now, he would be like, "This is fucking ridiculous. This is bullshit. I'm not answering this ridiculous question." But he's so tapped into work mode that he's like, "I have to help this guy no matter what. I'm not even listening to what he's saying. It's going in one ear and out the other."
and
But
he's going up to people like, "Yo, he needs vegetarian wood."
Right. And if he just was like, "Wait a second, let me slow down for a second. He asked for vegetarian wood. This is some bullshit. Guys, I'm on to you. Fuck this shit. You guys are funny, but I'm done with this." Click.
Yeah.
That's what he should do. Sorry, false
man.
alarm.
I'm sorry. I don't want to take up too much. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go soon. But it is funny because you are handcuffed at work, and you have to answer questions.
that mode, dude. Like if they just use their brain.
Let me go check if we got any vegetarian wood.
They just want to help people so bad, and they know that if they don't help people, they could get in trouble. So they'll do this extreme, crazy shit.
Should I go up to corporate with this guy?
This is Mike. How can I help you?
Hey, Mike. This is Johnson. Hey, just quick question. I can't have any grain, wheat, or barley in my wood, so I heard you guys have a different option. It's kind of, I explained to the other guy, it's kind of like vegetarian versus, a normal burger. And I heard you guys do have that type of wood. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but I'm building a porch, and we can't have it. My whole family's allergic to that stuff, so is there any other options there at this specific 84 lumber?
Be honest with you, the only lumber I have here would either be Southern Yellow Pine, SPF, or hemp fir.
Hemp fir. Does that have hemp in it?
It's just a type of pine tree.
Does it have wheat or barley in it?
I honestly have no idea.
Are you the manager? Okay, so you don't know if it has wheat or barley in it. Who makes the wood there?
We order all the wood comes from mills out east or out west.
Oh, okay.
Canada.
Okay. Do they have a number out there? Maybe I could call them.
I get my lumber from probably.
I just have I have a wood allergy, and I really want to build a wood deck. My wife's been asking forever, so.
Yeah, you might think of some sort of composite material.
I'm allergic to composite too, unfortunately. Okay, Mike. Well, I'll be there soon, and I'll look for you. I'll ask for Mike, okay? I'm in a cast and a wheelchair, so.
Okay.
All right, Mike.
Stupid ass.
Goodbye.
Alrighty. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See, that was fun. That was really fun.
I was trying to think of a competitor of 84 Lumber so that we could be like, all right, we're going to call instead so they can help us. But I couldn't think of anybody. The only lumber place I could think of was 84 Lumber.
Yeah, I was going to do Home Depot, but...
Well, yeah, I guess that works. I didn't really think of that. I don't know why I'm writing that.
That might be my favorite prank because the guy was so confused.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, what are we at here?
We're about an hour, so we can, unless you have anything you want to talk about.
I got nothing else.
We talked about the contest. We talked about 700 views.
I had a good time today.
Audio versions, patch contests, Sheena getting arrested, timestamps, the F word, Salter's rock bottom.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Real quick, we can. Marfort naked story, Eamon shower story,
naked story,
Spruce Street drama. We're gonna avoid that for now. Mike, you still got to make clips, man. Everybody's waiting on you. Those will be on the Twin Towers Pod YouTube channel. Metallica vs. the Beatles, White Album vs. Black Album, and Creech throwing me under the bus. So we got everything except for the Salters, Rock Bottom, and the Spruce Street drama, which we're not going to talk about this week because we still got some pending drama there.
First of all, shout out to Salters. I love that guy. He's funny as hell.
But here's what happened. Basically, Salters was this guy that I went to school with. He was a cool guy. Wasn't a bad guy by any means, was always friendly with everybody. Brian, for some reason, had a rivalry with him, and he did a rap thing. He started doing a rap career. So some of you guys might be familiar, probably not, though, with the song off the Slim Shady LP called Rock Bottom. It's basically Eminem, before he got signed, talking about how he's at rock bottom, he's at his wit's end, he's broke as fuck, he's popping Percocets, he's trying to make ends meet, okay? So, me and Mike, during our Playmakers heyday, we're checking out all the other local rappers, and we found Asalt's profile on SoundCloud. He did a remix of Rock Bottom. And the intro part, after the beat comes in, the very beginning of the verse is, you think you know rock bottom? I don't think you do. I ran out of lotion, started jerking off with glue. So we were wondering,
is that real?
Did he really run out of lotion and jerk off with Elmer's glue?
And if anyone else has done that...
So I'll say for the record, and I'm not afraid to say this, I don't use lotion when I jerk off. I jerk off dry.
No, yeah, why would you? Like, it's not that big of a thing for me.
That makes way too much of a mess, and I don't need...
Do you think it was like a paste glue? You know, those like paste sticks you use?
I mean, no matter what, dude, if you put glue on your hand and then grab your dick, your hand's going to get glued to your dick.
It's like a 90s movie when you get like stuck.
I think he was making it up. I think he was fucking making it up.
Stuck to your
But, Assault, if you happen to see this... And I remember when I lived in Florida, something really interesting happened. So Assault used to date Mark Blackley's little sister, Nikki. Mm-hmm. And they got into some sort of drama where they broke up. And Assault and Nikki Blackley got into a rap battle. I would love to hear those tracks. I don't know what happened to them, but they were very fucking funny. And I was enjoying that shit all the way down in Orlando.
Wasn't there a song where it's like, it reads, rats running out the back door?
Okay, so... the line was, this is what's kicked off the whole Sheezy Assault feud, was Assault knew Sheezy hated him, and in one of his raps said, I'll throw Sheezy's head through Reed's glass dough.
Oh, yeah.
And then they kicked off this whole fucking thing. I think they're cool now. Jump tried to fuck with him at Groff's, and Salters punked him the fuck out. It turned into a whole big thing. Me, personally, I've always been cool with Salters. I think he's a great fucking guy. I have no problem with him whatsoever. However, I would like to get those files, 1 of your Rock Bottom remix, 2 of the battle with Nikki Blackley, because that was some fucking great shit. So I would love to hear that again. And that's all I had on that.
That's all I got on that.
Jerking off
Did
with
you
glue.
watch? Did you listen to any of the Elon Musk Donald Trump interview?
I did not. And I haven't heard Sandler on Rogan yet, and I haven't heard...
Okay, so maybe we'll save these.
Yeah, we can save it. I mean, we hit an hour. I think we did a good job. I was going to talk about the cottage, but fuck that.
Fuck
Nothing
it.
that great really
Cares.
happened. So yeah, episode 9 in the cans. Planes, we love you. Patches, Outer Space Tarot, K1, you guys are getting patches. Pink Calculus, fuck you for not giving your address, but we love you for being our number 1 fan and supporting everything we do. I want you to stay anonymous. I don't want your socials. I don't want your address. Outside of that, we'll be back for week 10 right here on this couch. We're going to have champagne bottles popping. We're going to have it all going big. Anything else for you, Mike? Before we wrap up, because once we wrap up,
bro.
I apologize for being a day late and $1 short, but
I don't give no fuck.
we had to make it happen. And Plains, we love you, man. We really do.
Stop with the F words.
We love you. Do not F-bomb us ever in any capacity, in any location.
Shout out to Lori again.
Shout out to Lori, and shout out to
Shout out to Drace.
K1,
Shout out to
and
Matt.
shout out to Matt for listening on audio only. If you want to hear audio only, we're on all the servers now. We'll keep that going. And if you got any ideas for us, let us know. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, aka X, TikTok coming soon. You got any ideas for us? Let us know. We're always open to suggestions. We love you, Plains. We love you to death. We are not stopping. We're just getting started. Next week, the 10-episode celebration. It's going to be lit. Make sure you join us. I don't know if it's going to be on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Champagne will be popping.
We'll be popping bottles, all right? So we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining in.
And as always,
I'm Cody, too hot to be gay Butler.
and
He's
this is
Mike
Mike, does that make sense?
Kaminsky, and we'll be back.
Don't
We're the
drop my
Twin
last name.
Towers.
Don't
We
drop my
love you
last
to
name.
death. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Fuck, I hate doing this shit. Are we off air?
Yep.